seasons, yeah. In the winter, I think just the time. I love December, and just the traditions and all the holidays, and that keeps coming up for me. The seasons, but this weekend it's going to be, it's going to be 20 degrees, so we can have a fire and a fireplace. And that'll be fun. And hey, if it gets cold enough and it happens to rain, or what, there's mist, or there's humidity, or there's moisture in the air, there may just be a little flurry. I don't know. It's happened once in Jacksonville, I think. I don't know. It's been, wow, so long ago. I can't remember. It's actually, I look at my refrigerator, because I have a Jacksonville history, like, couple of sheets that they gave us, when we moved in. And so I have a couple of things, and I think it did say, like, there was snow once, and it did say the year, but I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But that's happened.
Snow in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone. We're here to share some Holy Nights preparations.
Absolutely. Hello.
Yeah. So I think we'll just chat for a few more minutes and see if anyone joins us, and then dig into it. How's that sound, Johanna?
Great. Sounds good.
Cool. Yeah. So up here in Wisco land, it feels like 27 below.
Oh.
Yeah, we thought about going hiking, but decided against it.
Now, is there snow on the ground?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a fair amount of snow, and there's still a little bit in the trees, not too much. It's super windy.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Super windy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll trade.
So do you like it? Do you prefer it warm? I mean, do you like it? You do? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid in the South, I mean, I lived in the North as a kid too, but I preferred it in the South. And every once in a while, there'd be snow on the ground for Christmas. Or in Arkansas, there's ice storms, and they're absolutely gorgeous and super, super dangerous.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine, for sure.
Yeah. So these ice storms are just a glaze over the road, and they don't know what to do down there when that happens. So everybody just stays home.
Yep.
Yeah. And the trees can get so heavy with ice that they can break.
Oh, right. So you gotta be really careful. A friend of mine in Georgia was telling me about that. She's from the Midwest. Well, she's lived in different places, but she was saying that in Georgia, everything just closed down. So there was a little bit of a lightly covered, snow covered, and it was, the plows were out, and it was schools closed.
Sand and salt. Yeah. Oh, yay, we did it. We got snow.
That's fun.
Awesome. So, do you have an opening song?
I do not. I don't have an opening song or an opening poem this time. I just thought I would chat about this time of year and about going into the Holy Nights and the preparation.
Yeah.
So, a little bit about. So, should we get to it?
We can. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the Holy Nights for me, something again that I learned when I became a Waldorf teacher and involved in the Waldorf philosophy. And Rudolf Steiner talks about this time of year and it being the closest time that we have between the realms, so between the spirit realm and the human realm. And so at that time we can go deep into meditation and connect to source and really we can reflect, and then we can replenish, and then we can render, which I call just like we can see the vision the future. And so we can lay plans out, and having an anchor of a theme and then some questions to be thinking about as we're looking at that theme can really be good for really some good journaling and good reflection, self-reflection, and then just letting go, and then planting seeds and creating projects and moving forward. And so you can take that into the new year and do some amazing things.
Is it at all related to the solstice?
Well, the solstice for me is a time, so it's the solstice is the solstice is the shortest day of the year, so light is coming back. Although in winter, I mean, it's the first day of winter, right? So in winter, there's so much happening under the earth. So there's lots of things happening with underneath. We don't see that come to fruit until spring, and spring is when we have the rebirth and the renewal of the earth. And so in this time is a really good time to plant those seeds. Internally, in our soul, and to reflect and to plant, and then to sprout in the new year, or in the days to come.
Okay.
So,
how did the Holy Nights come along? I'm really kind of new to this, so I'm very curious.
Yeah. So the Holy Nights are it's a Christian. It's through Christian tradition, and there's 12 Holy Nights. So the Holy Nights are the time where the kings traveled. They journeyed into where Jesus was born, and so the Epiphany on the 6th was actually when the kings presented the gifts to Christ and to the Christ child. And so we have frankincense, myrrh, and gold. And frankincense represents strength, and myrrh represents resistance, and then resilience, and gold is prosperity. And so these gifts then are the Epiphany, and I think it's the Greek Orthodox. They actually celebrate their Christmas at that time, because really that's the giving of the gifts to
that's really cool.
Someone. And so that's when they celebrate their Christmas. So starting on the 25th and making and having that journey through the Holy Nights, those 12 nights, is where the Holy Nights comes from.
That's very cool. So how long have you been doing this? How long have you been celebrating the Holy Nights?
So probably on and off. There's been years where I've actually there's others that I'm familiar with who have done themes, and I've received themes from them, and then had went through that. And so probably, let's see, my oldest is 17, so I'd say probably on and off for maybe 15 years or so. Once I learned about it, and I was raised Catholic, and then at one point I sort of decided that I wasn't, that it wasn't resonating with me, so I sort of stepped away from that. And then but it all sort of comes from this big spiritual pool of Christianity, or just spirit, and connecting to source. And so it's evolved for me throughout the years, for sure. And so but then the past couple of years, I really felt like, let's this is really bringing it back, and really finding really, I think the reflection for me, like taking the time and really to get quiet with myself, giving that gift to myself. It's like a giving of a gift to me. And that's the reflection of the year. What has worked, what hasn't worked, who's entered my life that I want to continue to nurture, who's entered my life that I'd like to let go of, all these, they're very deep questions, and maybe they can't be answered in, 12 days, but to make that time for yourself is really, for me, also the gift, and so when I was thinking of offering this through the Heart Mind Center, I thought, like love notes to me are like notes. It's like love notes to ourselves. Like we have to love, the first step is loving ourselves, and then bringing that out into the world. And that's where we find our light, and then, shining it with everybody through our gifts. And we can develop that through the Holy Nights, with contemplation.
That's so cool. I'm really excited to be doing this with you. I've heard of it. As a kid, I was raised Christian, and I never have heard of this before. Before I moved to Viroqua, and I probably first heard of it just a few years ago, and now I'm getting to participate in this. So I'm very excited. The best way to get me to participate in something is to pull me into it.
Yeah,
Come do this with me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been good for me, because I've been wanting to sort of, I've always been looking at others to guide me on, the themes and the words, and then working with you on this is so neat, because and for everyone who's who's out there, who's going to be watching this, or at some point. Jay and I decided to do this, and we decided, let's come up with 12 themes for our, for the whole Holy Night's journey. And I thought for sure we'd have some commonality of a couple, and they were completely different, yet they really fit together really well, I thought, with what we came up with. And that's something that, this is something that if it resonates with you, or this resonates with you, please take whatever you want and then leave the rest behind. So it's, if the themes are not like, that's not really a theme that I really can resonate with, then come up with something else. So it's not something that it's just a guide and a journey, and it's for your own pace for you to do, however you want to do it. And so that was really fun to actually create the theme, to have the themes, and to have them really deeply resonate. So, but I think that they also, all of the themes resonate with what's going on in the world, which is what's out there and how things are happening and in the world. And so I think it's really important.
It is super important to take care of ourselves and put our own oxygen mask on first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
was just going to say, what's happening with the new moon that is there any relation? I know we talked about it a little bit before we got on, that it was like, what's really happening with the new moon? But
I know.
Connectivity, or not connectivity, some connectivity, or some, things that align with it.
With these themes, I'm not sure. I do want to ask you to repeat. So frankincense is strength, and myrrh is resilience. What is gold?
Prosperity.
Prosperity. Okay, I wrote that down. So the new moon for Capricorn season is kind of exciting because the light is coming back, and that's really heartwarming when we know that we've made it through the dark time, and the dark time is still here, but we can feel, we can sense. I think even people who don't really understand it still get that turnaround. Like, we've made it past the fourth time around the track, and here we are, we're coming in, it's our last round before spring, like you were saying. I loved what you were talking about with planting the seeds in ourselves for the spring. I really appreciate that. The new moon is what's going on at the same time is Uranus has been in play, and Uranus is sorry, I saw we have some comments going on, and I see Jake is here. Hello, Jake. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted there.
It's okay.
It's Uranus. What can I say? Yeah. Uranus is the symbol of chaotic, spontaneous change.
Was it entering last month as well, a little bit, or no? Or is this?
Well, it's been triggered for or activated, I should say, for a couple weeks now because Mercury. My words are not working today very well. Mercury trined Uranus over the last week and a half, and then this week has been Venus trining Uranus. So it can be a time of breakthroughs, a time of inspiration, spontaneous inspiration that kind of turns us from, okay, I'm going to go this way, and this is my path, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to go that way, It's kind of that feeling.
That was happening with me today.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
And it's still, they're only 1 degree apart, 1 degree separated. So it's still very much a vivid sensation going on right now. And that was the main piece that I saw when I looked at the chart. But back to Capricorn. Capricorn is practical. Capricorn is very much, how are we going to get to that end of the tunnel where spring is? and it's very like, okay, and now I'm inspired. All of these cardinal signs are the initiators. They're the ones that they come up with good ideas, and then sometimes initiators have a hard time getting them to go. It's very much like Brahma, and so it's all of the cardinal signs, Capricorn, Aries, yes, Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, and Libra are all cardinal signs. So anyone who has suns or ascendants in those signs can tend to be good initiators. Like they're like, okay, I got an idea. And then it takes the Vishnu people, it takes the fixed sign people to help that person to follow through. And okay, what steps do we need to take together? So I can tell you from being a Libra sun that the ideas come like waterfalls, but sometimes it's hard to keep it going. So,
which is interesting because this is a good time then to really go into that reflection over the next 12 nights, starting with at the 25th, and start just journaling and planning, because from the journaling comes all these plans, but then the journaling would maybe hone it in and focus it a little bit. So
yes, totally. Yeah, totally. And I love things like this. I love where there's a group of people coming together and deciding to do something together. So journaling together, reflecting together, even though we won't be together, we won't be on screen together, but it's almost like it's just a promise. Absolutely. I'm doing this with you. And we can feel it. You can feel your friends joining that with you. You can feel, I've done different journaling prompts, like 40 days of self-love. I've done that many times. And so I guess that's the only thing that I've had that's similar to this is at the beginning of the Leo season, one of my teachers would host a 40 days of self-love, and then every day would be a different journaling prompt. Okay. So that's the only thing that I've really done like this. And I've loved it every time. So I'm very excited about doing this.
I think there's definitely something to be said about the consciousness of, when we come together as a group consciousness, and we, even though it may not be in the same time, because sometimes it works better in the morning for somebody or in the evening. And I would say that this is going a little more granular into the experience, but if it feels good for you to do in the morning one day and in the evening one day, it's okay. Just, just kind of go with the flow. And actually, I'm talking about Uranus and what's happening there, like, hey, that spontaneous kind of thing might be a good, like the chaos, spontaneous chaos, I guess. You said, that'd be a good thing to just go with the flow, and it's okay. With the rhythms, it doesn't need to be so stringent, and so and that's why we made it loose like this, where it's like you do it at your own pace. We give you a guide, and then it's your experience. So
yeah. So the January 6th Epiphany, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Do you want to share more on that? That sounds really neat.
Yeah, so that's the time when the wise men come and deliver the gifts, and that's the Epiphany. And so if you think of the word Epiphany, what that means is sort of like that aha, the aha moment. And so I think out of this journey through this 12 nights, at that time, we'll be able to reflect back on, we do have a theme for that day, and some of the questions that remain the same really throughout. But then, reflecting back on all of those, what you've done so far, things will come, and and aha moments will come from that. And for me, the Epiphany is like just that, like, wow, okay, like there's always something that comes out of that day, or something comes out of what we've experienced. That's going to be that make that magic or miracle in the next year. So that's what it's meant for me, and what I've experienced with it. So, And then during this journey, I thought it'd be a neat, once we did that, I like doing vision boards in January. And so I thought it would be kind of a neat thing, since we've had this experience at the Holy Nights, we've gone into deep meditation, journaled, and then we come out of it, meet as a community. We can on Zoom, and we can build a vision board. And so you get you pull images. You can pull images throughout the Holy Nights as well, and things that come up for you. And then in that the vision board workshop, we would just kind of lay it out there and just really start this being the architect of what's happening for 2023.
Nice.
Which I think would be really fun.
Yeah. I know. I was watching one of my teachers, Master Lynn. Mm-hmm. He put out his forecast for 2023.
Okay.
And it's based off of his meditations on the Big Dipper.
Oh, cool.
And it's this 1.5 hour long thing, and maybe we'll share that, because he's a really great teacher, and it kind of portends of needing extra TLC this year, extra mindfulness, and being very not meticulous, but mindful in many things that we do.
Yep.
And he also suggests feng shui for each the east, southeast, northeast, just all the way through the house.
Good.
And how you can create extra energy in places where it's going to be difficult this year. So I feel like it can be this Holy Nights can be a way of jump starting that habit of taking care of ourselves, creating that chi that we want to. He calls it the chi field. So, in yoga, it's the aura.
Yeah, the aura, right. Well, it's funny. I just and I put this on often, but I mean, it's so frankincense, the frankincense oil. It's really. I mean, even it seems silly, but like wearing like real gold, like wearing a little bit of real gold. The frankincense oil, the myrrh. There's a myrrh resin that one can get, and I think. I have to look into it but there's a resin, like a myrrh resin. And I believe that myrrh could be also an oil as well. But those are protection oils, so wearing those. I mean, I put it at the base of my neck, every night before your bed for protection. And then also in the morning. So it's sort of a little bit of a ritual, that I started for myself. But things like that would be really, really neat. And what's neat about the 12 Holy Nights now, so there's 12 Holy Nights, there's also 12 months in a year. And so one of the things that I was doing this, and I had read somewhere. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. my little pooches. He's really, he's like growling. So there's 12 themes of the Holy Nights, and there's 12 months in a year, and it would be interesting, and I haven't done this yet, but this is something that I thought about that we could take in if that resonated with you, or someone out there. Use those themes every month or use those themes once a month. So like whatever you do for, let's say the first one is forgiveness. So something that comes up for you, and a project that comes up for you with forgiveness, and maybe it is reconciling with a friend or letting go of a friend or something, something like this, then maybe make that what you do for January. January, you're gonna work on, that thing. And then in February, our second one, I believe, is liberation, and so whatever that means to you, and whatever, comes up for you for liberation, maybe that's something that you work on in February. So it could be it could be somewhat very structured if you wanted it to be. I mean, still structured but loose, And so that's what I'm open to those things. So as I do my meditations, I'm going to be open to what comes. And then, in January, when we have the epiphany, it might be like, oh, wow, okay, this makes sense to do this, 12, like every month, take something and, or create a habit of like, oh, you know what, this really feels good to meditate every night for 10 minutes or doing that for, for 60 days, 30 days, 60 days, 120.
Absolutely.
So there's lots of things to do with it, lots of places you can go with it. I thought it was just really, it was time I put what I thought out there and to, kind of get a little experience, guide for people who are interested.
Yeah. I was trying to remember, is the workshop on the full moon? Do I remember that right?
The workshop's on the 8th. Oh, is it on the full moon?
I can't, I feel like we chose the full moon, but I can't remember. And I don't have my notebook with me.
Let's see, the 8th.
But I do think that it's really interesting that this day, new moons in general are really potent time.
The full moon is Friday the 6th. And
okay.
So, and we'll do it. Yeah. And so the 9th is, well, the 6th is actually the Epiphany, which is actually, that's
right.
That's really special. So that's the Epiphany, that's the full moon. So that'd be fun to do. Yeah. I don't know. It would be fun to do something on the full moon for yourself or whatever. However you want to do that. I think we chose the 8th. I'm sorry. Sunday the 8th is the workshop, just for ease of time for most people to gather. But that full moon on the Epiphany would be quite something.
That's cool. Yeah. So that's an added piece to this is so today is the new moon, and the new moon is a time of planting that seed, and the full moon is a time of assessing how far you've come in that cycle and adjusting. So today we decided to do this live so that we could get the word out that we're sharing the holy nights, and to keep an eye on our page so you can see the prompts for each day, and you can sign up for the final or the finale for January 8th through any of the posts. I think.
And we do have, Jeremy, if you hear me, I know you hear me. Jeremy, the awesome behind the scenes guy. If you could put up on the screen the landing page, and then also maybe post in the chat the link to where to go. So we'll give you a link to go to get a mini workbook. So we've created a little mini workbook for everyone to guide them through this the 12 Holy Nights. So it includes the other one. Well, this is the mini workbook. This is what it looks like. It has some information. Just some questions are on here, some contemplations, how to prepare and get started. So it is a meditation type of a setting, but you can be walking, you can be in nature, you can be where you need to be to make it work for you. And then those are the 12 themes that we'll go through every night. So one a night. And as you're looking at those themes, then we have some questions. And these are just overall questions. You would, visualize the past year and look to these questions as you're going into your meditation with that word in mind. It sounds like a lot, but I think once you're sitting and you're doing it, or once you're walking through the forest and doing it, if it's not negative 30 below, then it will make sense to you. And then there's some journaling pages, but I would say, and then journal. This was the meditation is for you to get quiet and to get into your body and to really reflect. And then when you come out of your meditation, that's when you start journaling, and then just journal whatever comes to mind and then comes up. And so this is the page that you'll go to put your name and your email in, and we'll send you, and you'll get the mini workbook. And that'll also subscribe you to the Heart Mind Center newsletter and page.
Do they get the Zoom link too?
Yeah. So then you'll also receive an email once you get into this, the mini workbook. You receive an email that gives you the information, the Zoom link for the Your Vision workshop. Your vision board workshop is what we're calling it. So, yeah. And so then you'll join us
Nice.
on the 8th at, the 8th at 3 p.m., did we
I
say?
think so. 2 or 3.
Yeah, it'll be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 3. So yeah, so then that's what we have for you. So I hope
Awesome.
you'll join us, and if you have any questions or thoughts and comments, please visit the Heart Mind Center on
Or you
Facebook.
could throw it in the chat now if you have the question now.
Absolutely, go in the chat now.
Or
Right.
if you see this afterwards, you can send us an email or go ahead and sign up and let us know if you have any questions. Yeah, I feel like, it's 3:33 at this moment. I feel
Oh,
like, should I guide a little bit of centering?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to share this super important breath that I've been doing every day, and it's called Qigong breathing. In Tai Chi, it's called pre-birth breathing. And the idea is that you are breathing in the chi of the universe and strengthening your own chi and creating a field, a chi field, a force field, really, of protection, guidance, navigation, skills. So the this breath is very simple. It can feel very awkward, so just work with it. But as you inhale, you draw the navel in about a half inch. And as you exhale, you relax your navel. Inhale, draw in the navel. And exhale, relax the navel. And continue with this breathing pattern. And if you're having a hard time, if you're feeling the effects of scatteredness and chaos, it can help to add the mantra, I am here now. So as you inhale, you're drawing in the navel, and in your mind say, I. And as you exhale, releasing the navel, in your mind say, am. Inhaling, drawing in the navel, in the mind say, here. Exhale, relaxing the navel, in the mind saying, now. So inhale, I. Exhale, am. Inhale, here. Exhale, now. And you can really add all of your focus into this. You can imagine the words at your navel. You can feel the vibration of these words at your navel, and really working with becoming very present with your chi center, the lower dantian at the navel. So we'll just do that a few more times. Inhale, draw in the navel. And exhale, relax. The navel is such a potent part of our body, and sometimes when we feel a lot of anxiety, you can simply just put your hand over your navel and breathe into it. Breathe into your hand, breathe into your navel. And if you think about it, your navel is how you originally received nutrition as you became a physical being. And now we can receive our energetic nutrition through the same portal of the navel. And one thing I like to imagine when I'm doing this breath, if I'm really feeling the need for nurturing, I will imagine that I have an umbilical cord and that it's connected to the universe, to the Divine Mother, to the star field, and I'm bringing in that energy. And if you're using I am here now, continuing for one more round. And with your eyes still relaxed, closed, or if you're gazing forward gently, just noticing how just a couple minutes of breathing can shift your mind, shift your energy, shift your body. And just contemplating this idea of group intention and working individually to come together energetically on these vibrations of these 12 themes that we'll be doing, and how much stronger you can be in your own being by participating together as a group. And then opening your eyes and gazing forward, just gently. See if you can bring what peace you created within yourself out into this waking moment. Just notice if you can bring that forward. It's important to be able to integrate our beautiful, delicious meditation times with our waking moments and carry that forward. So thank you for breathing with me. Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. That was beautiful. I love the imagery, and it just feels right for me to, I think that that's how I'm going to start my meditations, just to get centered and grounded. Because I think that's really all the imageries that you use was just so perfect to get into that space, which is really neat.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
it was really beautiful, really beautiful.
Yeah, I really love. I have done that. I haven't been doing it as much lately. I've been feeling a little more scattered, but there's been days where I'll do Qigong breathing for hours, and I'll just keep with it and keep with it. And a really beautiful thing that you can do that I've been doing is I'll be breathing, and you create dedications. So I'll dedicate this 15-minute session to my shoulder, or I'll dedicate this 15-minute or this next session to strengthening my son's chi field, or so it can be very personal. It's very much intention making and dedication. So you can.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'd like to dedicate to my forgiveness, my liberation,
exactly.
my roots, my gather, I think just using those themes as the dedication, that just came to me as you were saying that. I was like, wow, that's really neat.
Yes.
I just learned recently a bit of a meditation that you're sitting with your reflection, and you're using your hands to like kind of guide you there. So when I came out of it, the visualization or the imagery that you gave to come out of it with, looking, it was like I was visioning myself, and I'm like, oh, that's really neat. So I had that like self-reflection, which was neat. So
Cool.
I like it.
Thanks for sharing.
It's so neat. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, great. It looks like someone he definitely had You had a nice time breathing.
Yeah.
Right
Woohoo!
on. I love it. That's
Yes.
great.
Yes, it's so important. And yeah, I feel like having these themes with such what I feel this year is a wild card. I feel it's the blank rune if you do runes.
Yeah.
It's the blank canvas. And we've had so much to break things down, to expose our weaknesses, expose our strengths, and show our flaws that we want to work on. And this is the year where we can really build that strength and that resilience, and say, you know what, I'm stronger than any outside influence, and I can handle this. So that's kind of like a small glimpse of what I feel like 2023 is bringing. And there's some serious challenges. I'm not going to say 2023 is all pretty and yay, let's go dance around and feel the fairies around us. We can do that too. But yeah, it's going to be intense.
Well, that's where change and transformation, I think, is, I mean, we have to embrace that. And I love looking at, and typically I tend to look at every year as sort of a new, like, I mean, as we're building into the new year. But I think when you come in with such intention with it, I think that's what's going to build. And yeah, and really anchoring on the strength and your resilience in that way. So
yes, absolutely. Intention is so amazing. I've not really known it before I started working with Spring Force Qigong. You know, I've been doing trainings for over 20 years now, and everything says it's so important to do your intention, you know. And it's not until this year that I'm doing it before every meditation. I'm, you know, sitting and dedicating each thing I do to something, and having intention is finally sinking in.
Which is amazing. Actually, I just looked because I was like, I mean, there's 12 words, so there's a lot of words. Not that I've recalled or remembered all of them. And our last one is resilience, which is interesting. That's the last night, which is cool. So
we should also represent December too, next December.
Yeah, which is really, of the whole, once the year comes out, it's like the resilience of the year, which is going to be really neat. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really, but I think I love setting the intention, because I think that's sometimes I just go into it, or or I have been, and I haven't been doing that as a practice, the setting the intention.
Yeah.
But I really love that. And that's what this does. This is what kind of, hey, we're doing this for 12 nights. It's not going to form necessarily a habit, but you can, when you do it for, what is it? Is it 60 days is a habit, and then 120 days is like that's when it's like rooted in you. Like I think there's 60, 90, 120. I'm trying to think back in like kind of when you practice, where it's like, how many days you do something, it becomes a habit. I think it's 40 days for a habit.
40
for a habit, and then
40 breaks an old habit, 90 creates a new habit, 120 the habit starts to become habitual, and 1,000 is when you've mastered it.
And do we ever really master it? I don't know, but we
right. I did a meditation for 1,000 days, and then I kept going, because it was, 1,000 days is 3 years basically, and I kept going, and then it faded out. I didn't think it would. I thought I would keep it going, but it faded out, and I'm gonna replace it with this.
Awesome, really fun. That's great. Yeah, I love that. I love the intention, and I really love that breathing. That's really nice. There's lots of different breath work out there, but I just like that one a lot. The imagery is really neat. So
awesome. Well, do we have any more thoughts, comments about what's coming?
I think I'm just going to look over everything that I wanted to talk about. I think we pretty much talked about everything, and Yeah, and I think I wish everyone a wonderful, whatever they're celebrating right now, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever it is that the celebrations everyone is out there celebrating, and festivals, there's the festive nights, and wishing all the holy nights peace and prosperity and love.
Yeah, keep your eye on the Heart Mind Center page so you can
Mhm.
get the prompts. Share them with your friends. Sharing is caring, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah, we're in this for each other. We're in this because we're all in this together. We're all walking each other home. So the more the merrier, and whoever comes is very welcome. So
Yeah, gather in community through the ethers. So, yeah,
happy
thank you. Happy holidays
holidays.
to
Jake out there.
you.
All right. So, do I have anything else to say? Yeah, I hope to see you at the Vision Board workshop. And yeah, it's very easy to sign up. You just click on the link will be on any of the posts, and you just share your email, and you get the booklet, and you get the Zoom link. I think I got all that right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Perfect.
And we'll all be chilling together, playing with our visions.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I like what you said about over the next 12 days. Yeah, maybe you could clarify that, because I'm kind of new to vision boards as well. I've done vision boards with words.
Okay.
I'm not an artist. I'm a musician. So, what do you suggest over these next days? How to prepare finding things?
So I would, whatever, if you see something, I mean, images, I usually pull images from, I don't know, people, some people, they're not really, getting magazines or, newspapers or things like that. But if you see something online that really speaks to you as an image, then pull it. And really, if something comes up what is most likely going to happen, because this is how I believe it all works, you'll go into a meditation, and the next day you'll be doing something, and you'll have an image that comes to mind, or an image that you see, and then just copy it and bring it, print it out, and have it. And so maybe you have a stack of, pictures and images that really resonate with you. And that's what we'll use to just create a beautiful, vision board, just a board with all these images, and you can write things on it. And, we'll go through a little bit of some movement in the beginning of the workshop to kind of get us into our bodies, and then we'll start cutting our pictures and putting them on the board, and
Very
that's how
cool.
we just create our own piece of art that we can, have somewhere that you can see every day. I have mine right now from last year. I have it right next to my bed on my nightstand, and so I look at it every night, and it's a way for me to, see that this is what I'm manifesting in my life. And so it naturally becomes that, what these images and things that resonate with us are things that we want to manifest, or things that we want, and it's not always, and it could be something materialistic, and it could be something, a feeling and emotion that comes up for you when you see that picture. So it could be lots of different things. Yeah.
Cool. I'm getting some images. I don't know. So you can just go online, search for what you're looking for, and print it off.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Because a lot of it, I actually, the one year that I did it, that was pretty cool. I was getting, my mom had sent me, some things in the mail, and in the mail, and with those things had come some newsletters and things that were printed. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I had papers, I had a stack of stuff that I started, and then there were some magazines here and there that I picked up at the, the grocery store or something. So yeah, if there's the free magazines and things that you see at different places, just pick them up, because then you can just go through them, and then, see the images, because it's fun to have all different kinds of media. And then, I suggested there's supply list on the email that you'll receive.
Okay.
And you can bring, your pencils and markers. If you feel like you have a creative, mode that day, you can draw things out,
Very
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, thank you, Johanna. It was a pleasure visiting with you and sharing this with our peeps. And
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you everyone for being here and catching this at whatever moment you're able. And many blessings.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
May this season bring you the visions that you seek.
Absolutely. Namaste.
Namaste.